TV journalist and news anchor Agnes Almasi dies in Dar es Salaam. And in sport, the Dar es Salaam athletics team has started preparations for the national championships to take place on the 12th and 13th of September. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM has called on residents in Shinyanga region to vote for the party so that it can complete the rail project from Isaka to Mwanza, which will facilitate transportation of passengers, cotton, livestock and various crops and result in economic growth of the region. The chairman of CCM and presidential candidate of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Magufuli, made the call when addressing residents of Shinyanga who had turned up at the election campaign rally held at CCM Kambarage ground.
Tenda za kutangaza hiyo reli ya kilomita 250.
The tender for the railway of 250 kilometers long from Isaka, Shinyanga to Mwanza, 250 kilometers long, has been announced. And trillions is being spent. I believe it is more than 3 trillions. Those who will benefit, it is you, the youth. You will get work. And this is one way to create employment. Employment also includes having robust infrastructure, highly valuable, whereby young men, women and men will take part. Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM party has come with the Election Manifesto, more than 303 pages. On page 31, it talks about improving cooperative unions. Electric trains that you see on TV in Europe, now in Shinyanga we're in, and it has been announced.
Ameijenga nchi yetu, imekuwa na miundombinu, mfano kama barabara, mahospitali, tukua tuna madawa.
He has built our country. Now we have infrastructure like roads, and there is medicine in hospitals.
Kuzalisha umeme kwa wingi. Kwa kweli ametufanyia vitu vizuri sana mheshimiwa rais huyu.
Meanwhile, Chadima presidential candidate Tundu Lissu has urged Tanzanians to vote for the party in the October general election so that it can improve the education sector and enable graduates get international employment opportunities. He made the pledge when launching election campaign rallies in the western regions of Tabora, Kigoma and Katavi at Chipukizi grounds in Tabora.
Those in school today are not employable because our education system doesn't equip them with skills to resolve the problems faced. To be employable, our children in Tanzanian universities, if he goes outside, even to nearby Kenya, he cannot compete with a Kenyan or Ugandan or Zambian because they have not been given skills. This education system will not free us or our children. We need an education system which will teach students skills so that if one goes to Kenya, South Africa, or Europe, they will be employable. Those who farm tobacco must do so, and once they harvest tobacco, they must sell it where they will get a good price. Those who farm maize must also grow maize and sell where they will get a good price. So are those growing cotton, cashews, coffee, and tea. This is your right and people's development. I want to speak with the people of Tabora. I understand that there are a lot of challenges, and we will speak about them.
ITV journalist and news anchor Agnes John Almasi has died while being rushed to Amana Hospital in Dar es Salaam after becoming suddenly ill at her residence in Buguruni when she was preparing to go to work. The father of the late Agnes Almasi, John Almasi, said his daughter started feeling sick at around 12 noon. This was the last news bulletin presented by Agnes Almasi on Monday night.
Kweli Agnes Almasi hatunaye duniani, amefariki dunia.
It is true that Agnes Almasi has passed away. She passed away suddenly. I was at work and I was informed that she was getting ready to go to work in the afternoon session. Suddenly she had a headache and she had no energy and had to sit down.
Basi wakati katika maandalizi hayo ghafla
sadly, as they were
kichwa
bringing her to
kinamuuma
Amana Hospital, the doctor came and confirmed that she had
amekosa
passed
nguvu,
away. We still don't
akakaa
know
chini,
the cause
lakini
of
baadaye
death. She is the second born in her family and
kwa
has
bahati
left
mbaya
one child.
walikati analetwa hapa Amana, hospitali ya Amana.
I saw her
Daktari alikuja pale lakini
So
akathibitisha tu kwamba amefariki. Kwa hiyo hatujajua chanzo ni kitu gani mpaka sasa.
Kadhalika mzee Almasi
Na pia alikuwa ni mshauri wangu mkubwa, japokuwa mimi ni baba yake, lakini alikuwa ananishauri sana.
Ni pigo kubwa sana. Sana sana.
This is a big blow. She was one of us and was a good worker and cared for people.
Alikuwa ni mmoja kati ya wafanyakazi wetu ambao walikuwa wasikivu, lakini walikuwa wakifanya kazi kwa weledi, na ni mtu ambaye alikuwa mtu wa watu.
Habari za kutoa mtazamaji wetu popote pale ulipo. Hii ni taarifa ya habari kutoka pa ITV Super Brand Afrika Mashariki. Jina langu ni Agnes Almasi.
May she rest in peace. Amen. Now, moving on, the police force in Arusha region has arrested 3 people allegedly for setting fire to the offices of Chadima party in Northern Zone 2 weeks ago.
Tarehe 19 mwezi wa 8 2020 alikamatwa mlinzi wa ofisi.
On August 19th, 2020, a security officer for Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Chadema party, who was on duty at the time, known as Deogratius Agustino Malia, investigation was conducted whereby on 26th and 28th, 2 more suspects, including Leonard Cuthbert Mtukula, aged 65, a resident of Tabata, Dar es Salaam, and the 3rd suspect, Prosper Masatu Makonya, aged 55, also an officer in Chadema party head office, a resident of Congo, Dar es Salaam. We would like to warn those involved in criminal activities that they must refrain from such activities, more so during this time where there is a general election.
Kitendo polisi walichokifanya sisi kama wananchi.
The police has done well. They have shown cooperation, and the police force has also shown a lot of faith on the people.
Kwa polisi kitu walichokifanya.
We are happy that the police have arrested those responsible for burning Chadema party offices because what they did is wrong.
Washawachukulia hatua za kisheria.
Tanzania Revenue Authority TRA has increased the revenue collection by more than 76% during a period of 5 years, from 10.67 trillion shillings during 2014-2015 to 17.87 trillion shillings in 2019-2020. This was revealed in Mbeya by the Commissioner General of TRA, Dr. Edwin Mhede, during a meeting to assess performance of the Domestic Revenue Department.
Mwaka 2014-15 tulikuwa tunakusanya kwa mwaka tulikusanya mapato.
In 2014-2015, we were collecting 10.67 trillion in revenue per year. But in the financial year that just ended, we collected 17.87 trillion, which is a 76% increase. The responsibility to collect taxes is upon you. but the responsibility in how the funds are used may not be up to you. If there is good collaboration between tax collectors and those who plan out how taxes will be used, they will be helping Tanzania Revenue Authority in collecting taxes with more ease.
Kumshukuru sana Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Tunamshukuru kwa sababu ya nidhamu ya matumizi ya fedha zinazokusanywa.
The police force in Arusha region has arrested 3 people allegedly for setting fire to the offices of Chadima party in Northern Zone 2 weeks ago. Now, moving on, Inspector General of Police IGP Simon Siro has asked stakeholders of political parties and religious committees to ensure peace prevails in the country and not tolerate anyone who intends to breach peace, to breach the current peace and stability. IGP Siro made the call in Pemba Island.
Ndoto yetu ni kwamba kuwe na uchaguzi wa amani na utulivu.
Our dream as the police force is to serve justice so that we can have peaceful elections. I spoke to stakeholders, religious and political leaders in Unguja, and we understood each other. So in Pemba, I had not come to speak to political or religious leaders. I will speak to defense and safety committees here and later speak to the leaders so as to come to an agreement, because they are all part of these elections. And if we all come to a consensus, I believe everything will go smoothly and safely.
Tutakwenda salama kwa sababu kitu kubwa anachofanya ni kutoa elimu.
The Chief Secretary, Ambassador John Kijazi, has directed the Board of Registration of Engineers not give a blind eye to unethical engineers. Opening the 17th Engineers Day meeting in Dodoma, he also urged engineers to look for opportunities in the industrial sector.
Sasa bodi pamoja na pongezi ambazo nimetoa kwa wahandisi,
Board still has the responsibility of monitoring ethics of this profession. All who took oath today must fulfill all that they have promised in the engineering field.
Kutana aina hii huwasaidia wahandisi kujenga na kuendeleza mtandao wa mawasiliano.
Such meetings allows engineers to network. In marking Engineers Day in the country this year, engineers will discuss contribution of industrial revolution in their development agenda. I urge Form 6 students, especially female, not to hesitate to enroll in engineering field. The field's demands are still very high in the country. The Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Biswalo Mganga, has annulled allegations of 147 remand prisoners jailed in Kahama and Shinyanga awaiting trial and has set them free. He said the accused have been released because of their offenses were pardoned.
Makosa ambayo nimeyafuta kuna kuanzia makosa mauaji.
Cases that are to be pardoned include murder, assault, illegal immigrants, among other small cases.
Sijasema mahakama za mwanzo, mahakama ya wilaya ni takriban mashauri.
Council courts have about 1,000 cases annually. Following such circumstances made this achievement possible.
Hapa Kahama na maeneo ya jirani mpaka Geita huku bwana tuna shida.
In Kahama and neighboring regions, we have a problem of superstitious beliefs, where in our prisons there are people who have committed murder following orders of witch doctors, causing increase in such criminal activities in our regions.
Sasa matokeo yake ni mabaya kwa familia.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, President Uhuru Kenyatta has told the global community that Kenya will lead the Eastern Africa counter-tourism efforts by working with regional governments and partners. President Kenyatta made the statement at State House in Nairobi during a virtual meeting of the Aqaba process on COVID-19 convened by King Abdullah II of Jordan.
The COVID-19 pandemic is intensifying the human security challenges that we all face, while also creating an environment where traditional and hardcore security challenges are amplified. The pandemic has been a catalyst for underlying risk trends, with many countries facing sharply deteriorating political, security, criminal, and governance situations. It should also be noted that environmental events such as the desert locust invasion in the wider East African region and the floods in the Horn of Africa region have also exacerbated the dire impacts of this pandemic. These two natural disasters have occasioned a severe reduction in food production. It is therefore my hope that we will identify and propose workable solutions to fill the gaps in pandemic response capacities and exchange views on the emerging security threats and opportunities, as well as opportunities associated with the pandemic.
President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda is expected to make a decision on whether the airport and its borders should be opened after a team formed to address the coronavirus pandemic completes its report. Human rights organizations in the Democratic Republic of Congo have expressed concern on the hardships students face in eastern parts of the country due to the deteriorating security situation, particularly in Beni.
Students here have faced many problems, even parents and teachers. The question comes down, who will teach who, and what will those students have in their minds to answer? Our government tried to give us some time to study, and we are sure that we will pass these exams, despite the difficulties we face to get here.
Na tuna uhakika tutaweza huu mtihani.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Price inflation in Zanzibar has continued to decline to 2.4% in August, down from 3.6% in July. This has been contributed by a decrease in food and non-food prices.
Umesababisha sana na kama mchele wa mapembe umeshuka kwa 0.8%.
This has been caused by a drop in some items such as rice flour by 0.8%, cement by 4%, fuel by 29.1%, petrol by 13.6%, and diesel by 13.3%. The monthly inflation rate has dropped to minus 0.4% in comparison to minus 0.2%. We are also major importers of rice from Thailand, and in Thailand they have harvested. So the trend shows a disruption in supply due to COVID-19, thus only few places receive the harvest.
Tanzania National Business Council has assured the private sector of continuing to create a conducive business environment by addressing various challenges facing them due to the important role the sector plays in the country's economic growth.
Ni sekta binafsi. Tunajaribu kuwahamasisha kwamba wajiamini.
It is a private sector. We're encouraging them to have confidence in themselves so they can do business with confidence and not think that the government is there not to assist them, but rather see the government as theirs. It is the people who have put the government into power, including business owners, and therefore must see that the government is ready to help them. And this is what TPSF is doing by ensuring the business environment is conducive.
Kuhakikisha kwamba watumishi wote wa umma ni watu wenye weledi na ni watu ambao ni marafiki wa wafanyabiashara.
Small Industries Development Organization SIDO has called on entrepreneurs who have invested in industries to use opportunities to grow their businesses brought on by the Industrial Loan Scheme being implemented by the National Social Security Fund NSSF.
Kwanza kabisa, kuna swala la riba.
First off, there is a matter of interest rates, which is a 13% per year, and also time of repayment. Instead of repaying within a short time, the loan is repaid within 3 years, and you also get time to start operations for your project.
Tumefanya hivi pia kuwapa urahisi wanachama.
We have done this to also make it easy on members who can produce at large scale, and for those small and middle-scale industries to enter into the scheme with assured capital.
Wakati waingie wakiwa na mitaji ambayo ni ya uhakika.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lendl.
In sports news, the Dar es Salaam athletics team has proceeded with training ahead of the national championships scheduled to take place on the 12th and 13th of this month.
The team is well. What we ask is, as a region, for the leaders to be close to the athletes so they can at least assist them with bus fare. Some of them have lost their morale because they use their own fare.
Mwingine baba anamwambia mimi sina hela, ukitaka bakia. Anabakia, akati sisi tushamteua huku.
KMC head coach Habib Kondo says their aim is to compete for the Premier League trophy this season.
Tumejifunza mengi, unajua KMC.
We have learned a lot. KMC has gone through a hard time. I remember when I came here, we were in the second to last position. We fought through the experience from playing and coaching in the Premier League and saw what to do. And God has helped, we are still in the league. Right now, we are trying to make sure we don't go back to where we were last season.
Kiukweli kabisa tuko tayari kugombania kikombe.
Gareth Bale has accused Real Madrid of making things very difficult for him by blocking his departure from the Bernabeu and had said he would be open to a Premier League return. Here more details.
Who is contracted to Real until June 2022 has fallen out of favor under Zinedine Zidane and played only 48 minutes of Madrid's 12 games when the Spanish season resumed after lockdown. The former Tottenham and Southampton forward said coming back to the Premier League, which he left in 2013 for a then record fee of £85.3 million, will be a possibility. Zidane accused Bale of not wanting to play in the Champions League last season's second leg against Manchester City, but the Wales international has hit back by saying Real have stopped him leaving on various occasions.
Ronald Koeman wants to capitalize on the contract impasse between Jorginho Wijnaldum and Liverpool by signing the midfielder for Barcelona. Here more details.
Wijnaldum has entered the final year of his deal with the Premier League champions and is yet to agree an extension despite several months of negotiations. Liverpool are reluctant to sell the 29-year-old, who made more Premier League appearances for Jurgen Klopp's team last season than any other midfielder, but their position could change should a sizable offer arrive for a player who will be out of contract next summer. No bid has been received from Barcelona, but the Dutch newspaper De Telegraaf, which has close links with Koeman, claims the former Netherlands manager wants to pair Wijnaldum with his international teammate Frankie de Jong in midfield.
And Dean Henderson has signalled his intent to oust David De Gea as Manchester United's first-choice goalkeeper and insisted he will not settle for a place on the bench at Old Trafford.
Henderson recently signed a new 5-year contract and will be in direct competition with De Gea for the first time when United opened their Premier League campaign against Crystal Palace. Following 2 highly successful seasons on loan at Sheffield United and almost 5 years away from Old Trafford, the 23-year-old is returning to his parent club with the intention of securing a regular starting role. He has warned De Gea, whose form has deteriorated markedly in recent seasons, that he is relishing the challenge of replacing the Spaniard.
And that Sports Item ends on news bulletin for tonight. My name is Kerry Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.